Okay, this story involves violence against a child. I was the child, and if that is going to harm you or set you back mentally or emotionally, this is not the story for you. I have plenty of other stories. Please go enjoy some of those. All right, that's the first one. Number two, before we get started with the story, uh, this story has two characters in it. They are both children, and there's no reason to hate either person in this story. Okay, let's get started. So, first day of first grade, I'm in my family had to move over the summer. I was in a new house, I was in a new neighborhood, and I was in a new school. And I was walking home from school that very first day, and I had change left over from lunch. And because I hadn't been fully trained in being poor yet, I thought, oh man, I can get some potato chips on my way home from school. So I stopped at the bodega, put my quarter down, and got some barbecue potato chips. And remember, this is 1974, probably. Um, Probably September of 1974. Anyway, so I get my barbecue potato chips. I walk outside, ready to walk the last block and a half, 2 blocks home, and I run into this kid named Booper. Booper was a year older than me, but we were always in the same class. I think he just started school 1 year later than everybody else, or than most people. He definitely wasn't like dumb or anything. So I run into this kid named Booper, and Booper says, "Hey, give me some potato chips." And I was like, "No, they're mine." And um, we walk a little bit further, and he just decides, "Okay, I'm going to take them." And so he hits me, and he gets me down on the ground, and he gets his knees on my shoulders so I can't move, and he grabs my 1970s long greasy hair, and he starts smacking my head against the sidewalk. Great way to end the first day of school at a new school, right? First grade. And it takes the crossing guard a while to get down the street and break up the fight. Um, and I go home, and my mother meets me like halfway down the street because I'm screaming, "Ah!" Right? Um, and here's the thing: from the second or third time Booper smacked my head against the sidewalk, um, to the time my mother met me, like halfway up the street, I remember absolutely nothing. Not a single thing. And so I'm fairly certain that I that I didn't just get beat up and get my feelings hurt and embarrassed and ashamed and all that. I'm pretty sure I had a brain injury, but because it was the United States of America and we were poor and I had no health insurance, it never even crossed my mother's mind um, to take me to the hospital to get checked out. I most likely had a concussion. But here's the thing. Now, um, let's go back to Booper for a second. I told you Booper was smart. He wasn't dumb at all. He was a year older than me. And his first reaction to me telling him no was violence. So, again, he's 6 or 7, right? So, what must his home life have been like to, at 7 years old, have his attitude of, well, violence. Violence is always the answer. Uh, that's basically the way America was in the 70s. It was a very violent place up until in the early 90s. The violence started going down. And I am very, very glad that my kids grew up in a much less violent world. I'm not saying it was easier, I'm saying they grew up in a much less violent world. Anyway, so that's the fun story. of my first that I can remember head injury where I probably also had a brain injury, but it never occurred to anybody that I should go to the hospital and get checked out. Just didn't, nobody thought it. It wasn't in our worldview to, hey, this kid just got his head smacked against the sidewalk multiple times. We should get him checked out. It just never entered anybody's mind. So anyway, have a great day.